Roblox just did something embarrassing, people are disappointed in Roblox, some pretty big updates got announced and more wild news today. So if you're new here, please subscribe. Most of you aren't and anything helps, so let's get right into it. Alright, firstly let's start with Roblox doing something pretty embarrassing yesterday, as well as kind of breaking a lot of games. Let me show you what I mean. So Maxwell here tweeted us saying, "We've officially gone full circle. Roblox has moderated their own mesh, the right upper leg for the default R15 rig. Roblox moderation has been bullcrap for well over a decade, but this is utterly embarrassing. How's the AI moderation going over there, David Bazuki?" So yeah, if you guys are confused what's going on, yesterday Roblox moderated their own package and their own like R15, and they kind of ruined it because as we can see in this image right here, for some reason it was super niche and weird what they did, but for some reason only the right upper leg piece got moderated and it was deleted. I don't know how that works or like what the deal was, but it got deleted and moderated, which is super embarrassing because Roblox moderation has been so terrible, and they've also been having, I think, AI moderation like people said, and their moderation has gotten so bad that they're deleting Roblox official items, which is crazy. And not only is this bad because yesterday it broke a lot of avatars. I know a lot of people are walking around with this piece missing because a lot of people obviously use, R15, but also with that being said, a lot of games themselves were broken because they use R15. Like for example, as we can see here, Arsenal was in one game where Roblox has moderated the right upper leg mesh R15 rig, which was made by Roblox themselves. This has affected several games, including Arsenal, to a missing upper leg for their character. So yeah, a lot of games use characters that have R15 obviously, and a lot of people use personal avatars that have R15, and yesterday everything that had R15 had that upper leg thing just completely removed and broken, which obviously looked very weird. Also with that being said though, what is kind of interesting is apparently it is like the old R15 kind of rig, but since most games didn't really update it because I think it's like the same thing, it still affected a lot of games and avatars. And in general, with that being said, it's one of the most embarrassing things I've seen from Roblox. The fact that they moderated their own, thing is just wild to see, and it just proves how bad their moderation has gotten. If Roblox themselves can't pass their own moderation, then you know it's a problem. And the worst thing about this is, even after all this, you probably won't even do anything. Literally every day on the platform we see some stupid, ban. And especially over these past few months, if you guys remember, there's been like a increased moderation because for some reason a lot of people who make packages have been getting banned for no reason. And then on top of that, their moderation lets through a bunch of garbage. You can go on the YouTube catalog right now and see a bunch of garbage items. And on top of all that bad moderation, it got to a point where they're also deleting their own items now. It's all just a massive mess and super embarrassing for Roblox themselves. So in general, R15's been broken now, obviously because of this, deletion. And anyways, with that being said, our next story, people being disappointed in Roblox. And if you're wondering why, Ben Hunter tweeted out saying, "Here are some items we believe were for Roblox's 15th birthday, but were scrapped last moment. These look so good, why did they never release?" So yeah, a few years ago was Roblox's 15th birthday, and if you guys aren't aware, typically Roblox has done something every year for their birthday. They usually release like a free item or say something about it, and it's always like a nice tradition. But around their 15th birthday, I think was like the whole COVID era where they're doing a bunch of sponsorships and stuff like that, and it seems like they planned to release something but ended up not releasing it, and they now just got leaked. And a lot of people were disappointed in Roblox, saying this would have been so cool and this would have been so much fun, but for some reason they just stopped doing it. And as we can see here, people are disappointed because, like I mentioned, it's during that whole era where Real guys tweeted out saying, "We could have had free hats, but all we got was Roblox celebrating 15 years of brands and Arthrovid." So yeah, instead of doing like their tradition of releasing an item or something, during that 15th year anniversary, all they did was release like this garbage video celebrating, the brand and stuff, which is very disappointing. And a lot of people are angry at Roblox now, being like this would have been such a cool thing. However, they kind of ruined it. I also wonder why they made them in the first place. It's kind of interesting. They made them and it seems like they were polished and everything, but just never released them. I don't really know why or like what the reason was. But also what's interesting is apparently, as you can see here, a lot of the items are potentially being reused for RDC 2024. And I think that's why they kind of got brought back up, and that's why, people found them again, which is pretty interesting and also pretty disappointing. So Roblox didn't give away a pretty cool looking item for the 15th anniversary. And then during the era, they released like a pretty boring and horrible video. And then now, a few years later, they're reusing it for an event. Just overall, some very disappointing stuff going around. And I was kind of angry at Roblox for just being kind of, lame once again and appealing to investors, because that's what they're doing around this era. But anyways, with that being said, our next story of two pretty good Roblox updates and changes recently. They're actually very good. So firstly, Blox News here tweeted out saying that Roblox has open sourced their voice chat machine learning model available for anyone in the gaming industry to build upon. So yeah, it's pretty insane, and basically what this means is Roblox's like voice chat system and stuff like that is available for everyone now, like anyone can use it. And as we can see here, David Bazuki announced it here saying, "We're also sharing our first open source model, which we're making available for commercial use. We hope to provide provide an industry baseline to accelerate development of new ML models for voice safety. So yes, it's pretty insane, and we've never really seen Roblox do anything like this before, where they literally just gave it out to the public saying use it however you want, which is pretty wild and pretty good from Roblox. I haven't really seen Roblox do anything like this before, and it's pretty crazy to see that they're just giving away for free, you know, to the public. Pretty cool from Roblox, and a very cool move, I can't even lie. And speaking of good updates, next we also did this thing where RTC tweeted out saying, group owners will now be able to set specific percentage splits for each experience rather than solely using group payouts. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's also very good for developers, because obviously when you're paying out people for like a game and a bunch of developers, every developer and person is probably gonna have different percentages. You know, the main owner is probably gonna have a bigger percentage, people who built the map are gonna have a lower percentage, some devs are gonna have a higher percentage, and it's obviously very annoying before because you had to calculate all of it and then group pay it out, and it was just like a whole mess, you know. But now it's super simple. You can literally just go to your group, set percentages for every, you know, player, developer, whatever, and then they'll all get paid equally based on the percentages, which is pretty crazy. And over this past few days or so, Roblox released two pretty good things for developers and just in general for Roblox, I guess. They gave it like their voice chat thing for free, open source, which is crazy, and they added this pretty good thing just to make it easier for developers. Pretty good from Roblox. They did have that whole embarrassing thing at the start of the video, but they are kind of coming back slowly, which is very good to see. And also with that, RTC followed up on that tweet announcing some more stuff where they said, additional rating. With the recent addition of being able to manage your group revenue within the Creator Hub, we also integrated features including one-time payout to your collaborators, reoccurring percentage payouts so you can do it over and over again, and define percentage payouts per experience. So yeah, in general, just a very good updates to our developers and Roblox in general, and it's a very good move for Roblox. But anyways, with that being said, our next story of one of the weirdest and most random things I've ever seen in all of Roblox. I can't even believe this is a real story, but it is. So Blox Media here to us saying, in celebration of Video Game Day, PETA, a company that defends the rights of animals, decided to host a protest against H&M's fashion show for the treatment of animals. The protest was held inside of Roblox, the video below. So yeah, I know this sounds super insane and super crazy, so let me break down what's going on. So if you guys aren't aware, PETA is like a company that protests for like animal cruelty and stuff like that. And they're a big company. They usually do protests, you know, in real life. That's always been like what they do. However, what they're doing now is they're going into Roblox collab games and protesting against the companies in their respective Roblox game, which is so insane. How did it reach the point on Roblox where number one, these brands are even joining Roblox in the first place, but then number two, people are going into these brand games protesting against them? This is the most insane and like bizarre story I've ever read, and it actually is a real thing. They posted a video on like their official Instagram or whatever, and it did like pretty insane. It has like 7,000 likes, and this is like a real thing that they were actually doing. And in general, it's one of the most bizarre and crazy things I've seen on Roblox in a while, because usually in Roblox we have seen protests, but they're usually just like jokes or for like Roblox drama. But this is like serious real life, you know, protests that they're doing in Roblox, which is just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And anyways, with that being said, our last story of Roblox avatars are getting out of control. So over these past few months or so, it's been going on for a while. There's been like a UGC trend where people just try to make the biggest avatars possible. And there's been like a cycle. They always come around after like a few months and they go popular and then they get deleted, and it just happens over and over again. And we're at that start of the cycle where it's happening again. As we can see here, this person posts on the Reddit another massive UGC item, and this person is like a big fish, I guess, and they occupy like the entire map. It's actually crazy. And they're actually like blocking players' views and stuff, which is like, it's actually like gives people an advantage. And then also with that being said, there's been more like medium-sized avatars, nothing too big, but as you can see here, a lot of people have been doing avatars that still take up a massive space, but not as big as the first one. And in general right now, there's a bunch of these going around where they just are massive avatars, and there's a bunch of ways around it. That fish one that I showed you is probably the biggest one I've seen in a while. It takes up like the entire map. And also this cat one, which is not as big, but still. And most of the time these are pretty funny to see. However, a lot of times people actually troll with these items and actually like annoy people. But in general, pretty funny to see, and there's a lot of these going around right now, and it's getting kind of out of hand and out of control. But anyways, that being said, if you enjoyed, check this video to find out why Rose is another major issue, and I'll see you in the next one.